The trains here run so precisely that Swiss Federal Railways, known as SBB, publishes a punctuality rate and considers anything under 99.7% a failure, not a talking point, an actual institutional standard. That single fact says something about this country that no postcard ever could. Switzerland sits at the crossroads of four of Europe's great linguistic and cultural worlds, German, French, Italian, and Romansh. Yet, it has remained one of the most politically cohesive nations on Earth for over 7 centuries. It has no coastline, no oil, no vast agricultural plains, and yet it holds one of the highest standards of living anywhere on the planet. With a population of just under 8.9 million people spread across 41,285 square kilometers of mountains, valleys, and glacial lakes, it has somehow forged a national identity not from ethnic unity or imperial conquest, but from a shared commitment to precision, federalism, and the quiet dignity of craft. This is the story of a country that chose stability as its highest art form, and of the people who live, work, and find meaning within its beautifully ordered world. Daily life and social rhythms. By 6:30 on a weekday morning in Zurich, the trams are already full. Not chaotic, full. The city's Verkehrsbetriebe Zurich network, which carries over 350 million passengers per year, moves with the efficiency of a long-rehearsed performance. People bored with the quiet purposefulness of those who have done this 1,000 times before and intend to do it 1,000 times more. Nobody rushes the doors. Nobody plays music aloud. There is an unspoken code here, and it is observed with the kind of social precision that elsewhere might seem rigid, but here feels simply like respect. Breakfast in a Swiss home is an unhurried affair. Bircher muesli, the original cold oat and fresh fruit mixture invented by physician Maximilian Bircher-Benner in Zurich at the turn of the 20th century, remains a morning staple alongside dense rye bread, Emmentaler cheese, and strong coffee. In the French-speaking cantons of Romandie, the morning leans more toward a tartine with butter and jam, a café au lait, the rhythm slightly softer, the table conversation a little more lingering. The Swiss conception of neighborly obligation is captured well in the word Gemeinschaft, community, though in practice it manifests less in warmth than in responsibility. Hallways are swept on a rotating schedule, noise ordinances are observed after 10 at night, and a newcomer to an apartment building is expected to introduce themselves formally to each neighbor, sometimes with a small gift. These are not rules anyone enforces loudly. They are simply understood. Social trust here is deep, but it is not immediately intimate. Friendships form slowly, over years rather than weeks, built on reliability rather than openness. The workday typically runs from 8 in the morning until 5 or 6 in the afternoon, broken by a genuine lunch hour, often at home for those outside cities, or at a restaurant Mittagsmenu, the fixed-price midday special that is a fixture of Swiss urban life. There is no glorification of busyness here. Working through lunch is considered mildly peculiar. Rest is not laziness. It is logistics. What holds this culture together across its linguistic fractures and cantonal differences is a shared reverence for competence, for doing whatever one does, beautifully, thoroughly, and on time. Culture and traditions. Switzerland's cultural identity is not singular, and that is precisely the point. The country is divided into 26 cantons, each with its own constitution, legal traditions, and in some cases, its own distinct cultural personality. The German-speaking Swiss of Zurich, Basel, and Bern operate in a world of careful speech and institutional tradition. The French-speaking Romans of Geneva and Lausanne carry a more openly expressive intellectual culture, shaped by proximity to France and a long history of hosting exiles, from Jean-Jacques Rousseau to Lenin. The Italian-speaking Ticinesi of the South sit under a warmer sky, and their culture reflects it, in their piazzas, their afternoon espressos, their more fluid sense of time. The Rhaeto-Romanic speakers of Graubünden, the Romansh community, number fewer than 45,000, and yet Romansh holds status as one of Switzerland's 4 national languages. Their preservation of an ancient Latin-derived tongue in the high valleys of the Alps is not nostalgia, but identity, and the Swiss state funds its survival accordingly. Among the country's most beloved annual traditions is the Alpabzug, the ceremonial descent of cattle from the high summer pastures back to the valley farms each autumn. In cantons like Appenzell and Graubünden, the event becomes a procession. Cows adorned with enormous cowbells and flower crowns walk the mountain roads as families line the streets, and the deep, resonant clangor of those bells, some weighing several kilograms, fills the valley air with a sound that feels genuinely ancient. The Sechseleuten in Zurich, held each spring, marks the traditional end of winter by burning a large snowman effigy called the Bög atop a bonfire on the Sechseleutenplatz. How quickly the Bög's head explodes, packed with fireworks, is said to predict the quality of the coming summer. The city's guilds, dressed in historical costumes, circle the fire on horseback. It is one part civic ceremony, one part theatrical absurdity, and entirely recognizably Swiss. In the Ticino, the Carnaval di Bellinzona transforms the city each February into a weeks-long street festival of masks, brass bands, and satirical floats that skewer cantonal politics with an irreverence the German-speaking Swiss tend to admire from a respectful distance. What unifies all of these communities, beyond their shared passport and their shared trains, is a relationship to the landscape. The mountains do not divide Switzerland, they define it. Work and economy. Switzerland's economy is small in geographic scale and enormous in output. With a nominal GDP per capita of approximately $98,000, ranking among the highest in the world, the country has built its prosperity not on natural resources, but on human expertise and institutional reliability. The unemployment rate hovers around 2.3%, one of the lowest in Europe. The pharmaceutical and life sciences sector anchors much of this wealth. The Basel region alone is home to Novartis and Roche, two of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies by revenue, alongside dozens of smaller biotech firms clustered in the Dreiländereck, the triangle where Switzerland, Germany, and France converge. Zurich, meanwhile, hosts major operations for UBS and Credit Suisse's successor institutions, for Google's largest engineering office outside the United States, and for a constellation of financial services and technology firms that have made the city one of the most expensive and most competitive labor markets in Europe. But the Swiss economy is not simply a story of corporate giants. The country's apprenticeship system, the Berufslehre, channels roughly 2/3 of young Swiss into vocational training programs that are globally regarded as a model of workforce preparation. A 16-year-old might begin a 3-year apprenticeship as a precision mechanic, a watchmaker, or a logistics coordinator, earning a wage from the first day and completing both practical and classroom training in tandem. The system produces neither academic snobbery nor a sense of failure. A completed Berufslehre is considered a genuine professional credential, and the Meister, who oversees a workshop of young apprentices, commands real social respect. Then there is watchmaking. The Jura region, the arc of hills curving through the cantons of Neuchâtel, Bern, and Jura, remains the heartland of one of the world's most prestige-laden industries. Switzerland produces over 90% of the world's watch exports by value, with brands from Rolex to Patek Philippe to the Swatch Group shipping timepieces to every continent. The craft demands a patience and manual precision that mirrors the national character almost too perfectly to be coincidence. The Swiss work hard, but they also guard their leisure with the same discipline they apply to their work. 6 weeks of paid vacation is standard for many employees. The Swiss do not boast about their hours. They speak more readily about their hiking trails, food, and daily life. To eat in Switzerland is to eat in 3 countries at once, layered by altitude. The cuisine of the alpine regions is built for cold and labor, dense, warming, deeply satisfying. Rösti, the shredded and pan-fried potato cake that originated in the canton of Bern, is eaten at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, often beneath a fried egg or beside a cut of pork, and it carries with it a quiet national pride that crosses all 4 language borders. The invisible cultural line between German and French Switzerland is even informally called the Röstigraben, the roasty ditch. So thoroughly has the dish come to symbolize something about Swiss-German identity. Fondue is real, and it is not a tourist performance. In the months from October through April, Swiss families gather around the caquelin, the earthenware pot set over a small flame, and dip cubes of bread into melted Gruyere, Vacherin Fribourgeois, or Appenzeller. Taking turns, observing the gentle rule that whoever loses their bread cube in the cheese must buy the next bottle of wine. Raclette, the cousin dish of the Valais, involves scraping molten cheese from a half-wheel held beneath a grill onto boiled potatoes and pickles. Both dishes are less about taste than about the time they create, slow, convivial, unhurried. The French-speaking cantons produce a more continental kitchen. In Geneva, brasseries serve l'angeole, the local pork and leek sausage that is simmered for hours and eaten with lentils, alongside a glass of chalets, the dry white wine grown on the terraced lakeside vineyards of the Lavaux, a UNESCO World Heritage landscape above Lake Geneva. In the Ticino, the brassata, grilled meats served with polenta, reflects the Italian heritage without apology, and a risotto di funghi porcini made with mushrooms gathered that morning from the Malcantone Hills carries a richness that no restaurant menu can fully capture. Swiss chocolate is not simply confectionery, it is national infrastructure. Lindt, Toblerone, and Laderac are internationally known. The local Sprungli on Zurich's Bahnhofstrasse sells Luxemburgerli, small pillowy macarons in seasonal flavors that locals treat with the seriousness of a fine wine purchase. Swiss chocolate consumption runs among the highest per capita in the world, a fact the Swiss neither boast about nor attempt to explain. Markets, the Wochenmarkt of Basel, the Marché de Bourg de Four in Geneva, serve as weekly social anchors, where buying vegetables is the nominal purpose, but the conversation, the seasonal rhythm, and the continuity of familiar faces is the real product. Nature and landscape. The country is 60% mountains. That proportion is not just geographic, it is existential. The Alps run like a spine through the southern two-thirds of Switzerland, with the Pennine Alps holding the Matterhorn at 4,478 meters above sea level, its four-faced pyramid recognizable to anyone alive. The Bernese Alps rise above the Lauterbrunnen Valley in a wall of waterfalls. The Staubachfall drops 297 meters in a near vertical curtain of mist. The Aletsch Glacier, at 23 kilometers in length, the longest glacier in the Alps, flows in a river of ancient ice through the canton of Valais, its surface now receding measurably year by year under the pressure of a warming climate. The country holds over 1,500 lakes. Lake Geneva, Lac Léman, stretches 73 kilometers between the Rhone Delta and the city of Geneva, its northern shore lined with the stacked vineyards of the Lavaux. Lake Zurich curves south from the city in a long, calm fjord shape, its shores dense with commuter towns and weekend walkers. Lake Lucerne folds into the mountains so completely that from certain angles, the distinction between water and alpine rock becomes uncertain. The Swiss Trail Network covers over 65,000 kilometers of marked hiking paths. The Wanderweg, maintained to the same standard as the roads. Yellow diamond markers guide walkers across pastures, through pine forests, along ridgelines above the clouds. This is not adventure tourism infrastructure, it is daily life. Families walk after Sunday lunch, retirees complete multi-day routes between mountain huts. Children grow up with the altitude in their lungs. The seasons do not merely change the scenery here, they restructure life. Summer opens the mountain passes and the cable car networks, bringing the farmers' cattle to the high Alp pastures and the hiking boots out of the cupboard. Autumn brings the Alpabzug and the first wood smoke from farmhouse chimneys. Winter locks the high passes and turns the valleys toward the wood stove, the ski lift, and the long, dark clarity of mountain nights. Spring arrives slowly, the snow line retreating week by week up the peaks, and when the first crocuses push through the melting snow on the lower meadows, it feels less like a season change and more like a reprieve. Transport and infrastructure/modern life. The Swiss Federal Railways network covers 3,265 kilometers of track and runs over 11,000 train connections daily. It is the most intensively used railway network per capita in the world. The system is coordinated by Takt, a rhythmic timetable in which trains at major junctions depart simultaneously in all directions, then meet again at the same stations at regular intervals, allowing near-perfect connections without long waits. It runs on time, not through accident, but through decades of engineering will. Underneath the Alps, the Gotthard Base Tunnel, opened in 2016 after 17 years of construction, stretches 57.1 kilometers through the mountain, making it the world's longest railway tunnel. Freight trains now cross the Alps at near sea level, avoiding the steep gradients of the old mountain routes. The tunnel was built in part to shift heavy freight from road to rail, reducing alpine highway congestion and emissions. The engineering required cutting through some of the hardest granite on Earth, and the project cost approximately 12.2 billion Swiss francs. Switzerland spent that money and considers it worth it. Cities like Zurich and Basel combine tram networks, S-Bahn suburban rail, and ferry connections on the lakes into integrated systems where a single ticket works across all modes. Cyclists in Bern follow a network of dedicated lanes that weave through the old city's medieval arcades. In Geneva, electric buses run silent and frequent through streets that also host diplomatic motorcades and student cyclists in equal measure. Technology has arrived in Switzerland without much fanfare. The country is one of the world's leaders in research and development expenditure as a percentage of GDP, approximately 3.2%. And its universities, particularly ETH Zurich and EPFL in Lausanne, regularly rank among the world's top technical institutions. Yet, the modernity does not announce itself. Zurich remains a city where old guild halls and medieval fountains stand intact beside the glass towers of global banks, where the farmers market and the fintech startup share the same city block without apparent friction. To move through a Swiss city is to feel a kind of civic competence at work. Nothing is broken, nothing is improvised. The streets are clean, not because someone comes to clean them, but because the systems that maintain them have been running continuously, reliably, for a very long time. The younger generation, youth unemployment in Switzerland, sits at approximately 7.4%, which, while higher than the national average, remains one of the lowest youth unemployment rates in Europe. The Berufslehre system catches many of those who might otherwise fall through the academic cracks, and the options for continuing education after vocational training have expanded substantially, allowing movement between practical and academic tracks that once felt more rigid. Young Swiss navigate a tension that is particular to wealthy, stable countries, the sense that possibility is high but novelty is low. The infrastructure is excellent, the safety nets are real, the wages are good. And yet something in the orderliness can feel constraining to those who want to improvise, to fail publicly, to start something raw and unrehearsed. Many young Swiss spend time abroad, a year in Berlin, a semester in New York, a working holiday in South America, not from dissatisfaction exactly, but from a desire to test themselves against disorder before returning to the reliability they were raised in. Those who stay, and most do, build their lives with care. They socialize in the Baz, the informal Swiss-German word for a simple neighborhood pub or tavern, over a beer and a plate of something simple where conversation is unhurried and phones are sometimes set face down on the table. They ski in winter, hike in summer, and spend Sunday afternoons on the lake in between. They follow referendums closely. The Swiss system of direct democracy holds regular national votes on everything from energy policy to immigration, and civic participation is considered not optional but fundamental. The younger generation is more international than any before it, more connected to global culture, more comfortable with English as a working language. But they are also, in a way that might surprise outside observers, genuinely attached to the local, to the trail above their childhood valley, to the sound of a particular bell tower in a particular small city, to the feeling that where they come from is in some important way enough. Evening rhythm and the spirit of the place. As the afternoon light tilts golden across the Zurich lake and the trams begin their evening frequency, the city exhales. Office workers collect their bicycles from the Vela station beneath the main station. Families begin appearing at the gravel paths along the Limmat River. The body, the open-air lakeside swimming area, is never fully empty on a warm evening, even in September. People simply move from one kind of day into another. In the villages of the Bernese Oberland, evening comes with the weight of altitude. By 7 o'clock, the mountains have swallowed the direct sun, and the valley sits in a blue shadow that is not cold but cool, and the cowbells from the high pastures carry down like something from a much older world. Restaurant terraces fill with locals who eat their dinner early, by Swiss standards, 6:30 or 7, and the Stammtisch, the regulars table at the corner of any proper village restaurant, holds the same faces it has held for decades, conversation easy in the way of people who have long since run out of need to explain themselves to each other. The spirit of Switzerland, if one can distill it, is the feeling of a place that has decided, collectively, to take its obligations seriously. Not only economic obligations or civic ones, but the obligation to the neighbor, to the environment, to the future, to the precision of the thing being made. There is a quietness to this country that is not emptiness. It is competence, settled into habit. It is the sound of something being done correctly without the need for applause. Challenges and why people stay. Switzerland's cost of living is among the highest on earth. The average monthly rent for a two-bedroom apartment in Zurich runs to approximately 2,800 to 3,500 Swiss francs, and health insurance, compulsory and privately managed, adds another 400 to 600 francs per month per adult. A family of 4 can spend over 1,000 francs monthly on groceries alone. For the roughly 25% of the population who are foreign nationals, working in Swiss cities in every sector from hospitality to finance, navigating the residency and permit system adds an additional layer of complexity and precarity. Integration is possible, but rarely effortless, and social belonging can lag years behind legal residence. Housing scarcity in the cities is real. Zurich has a rental vacancy rate that periodically drops below 0.1%, meaning that finding an apartment can take months of waiting lists, personal references, and financial documentation. Young people sometimes live with their parents into their late 20s, not from preference, but from pragmatic necessity. Environmental anxiety runs quiet but real beneath the surface. The Alpes Glacier has lost over 3 kilometers of length in the past century. Swiss ski resorts in the lower elevations are investing in artificial snowmaking on an industrial scale as natural snowfall becomes less reliable. The country that has perhaps the most beautiful Alps on Earth is watching them change season by season in ways that feel personal. And yet people stay. They stay because the trains come, because the hiking trail above the city is 30 minutes away and unmarked by anything except the yellow diamond at the trailhead, because the referendum in 3 weeks is about something real and their vote counts, because the Bays on the corner still has the same menu as when they were children and the same landlord, and the wood tables have the same rings from 1,000 mugs of warm wine, because belonging to a place that works quietly and without ceremony is its own kind of freedom. In the end, what Switzerland offers is not a fantasy of perfection, but something rarer and more durable, the experience of a place that has chosen deliberately to work and has put in the continuous, unglamorous effort required to keep that choice alive. The bells in the valley are very old, and they are still ringing. If this glimpse into Swiss life stirred something in you, a curiosity, a question, a memory of your own, we'd love to hear it in the comments below. This channel is dedicated to understanding how people actually live around the world, not the highlight reel, but the morning routine, the neighborhood, the unspoken social rule that takes a foreigner years to learn. If that kind of storytelling speaks to you, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss where we go next. And if you know someone who has lived in Switzerland or is thinking about it, share this with them. The conversation that follows might be the most interesting part. We'll see you in the next place.